You know what I'm excited about, Nikki?
What's that?
We don't often get to celebrate things here on the Haymakers, but I feel that today we should have a little celebration for our third man, our third wheel, third man of awesomeness, Mr. DJ Calcos.
It's just a shame that he couldn't be here because he died playing Sonic Dreams Collection. He was so close to making it 1 year, but missed it by just a couple of days. It's a tragedy of all tragedies.
I live!
Russo Swerve!
He lives. Holy shit.
Yes, they're correct. This is my 1 year anniversary with the cast. I started last year, SummerSlam 2014, as just a random one-time guest. I joined again at Night of Champions, and then Toon approached us with the idea of making this a weekly cast that was truly weekly until earlier this month, where we had to break the streak because of BronyCon, unfortunately. But
damn,
Bronies ruin everything. Bronies ruin everything.
They do. Now, of course, I do a lot of the work on the cast. I do all of the editing for both audio and video, and I wouldn't have it any other way because it gives me something to do with my spare time. So, yes, it is very good to be on this cast for a full year, and I'm very appreciative to Toon and Nikki for giving me the shot. Anyway, I need to ask you, Nikki, why are we here today? Why are we convening on this wonderful Wednesday night?
Oh, yes, we are doing this a little early tonight because we have a massive card to go over for 2015 SummerSlam.
SummerSlam, the first time I think ever that SummerSlam has been booted to a 4-hour event. Now, they've really stacked the card this time with a lot of great matches and a few filler matches that we can probably just see on Raw. But that's all right, because it's SummerSlam. SummerSlam, they're going to do everything they can to hype us up, get us ready for the summer's biggest blockbuster of, well, the summer. So, let's, I'm of course Toon, he's Nikki, and he's Calcos, celebrating 1 year for Calcos on our little podcast. Let's dive into SummerSlam. By the way, we don't know this yet, but there's no pre-show match. There probably will be, and we'll figure that out later.
It's probably going to be the tag team match.
Oh, that sucks.
That would be weird considering what they've been trying to do to boost the tag match, but whatever. We've got the biggest card in the Haymakers history, so we need to get going.
Yeah, that's right, we do.
Before we get started, is there anything that you want to mention about NXT Takeover Brooklyn, which is happening the night before SummerSlam?
That it's a thing, that it's happening. Honestly, I haven't been interested in NXT in the last 6 months. I really haven't cared.
They had a big five going for a while. They had Owens, Neville, Zayn, Itami, and Balor. Zayn and Itami got hurt. Owens and Balor made the jump, and right now, Balor's kind of on a one-man parade through the show.
You mean Owens and Neville?
Did I say it?
Balor's still there.
Yeah, my mistake. So Balor's the only one there. And yeah, like pretty much every match on there is basically a squash match. Like they're trying to get more people coming up, but it's a slow process at the moment.
SummerSlam, first match of the night. We have Dolph Ziggler with Lana versus Rusev with Lana 2.0. I'm sorry, Summer Rae.
I was really expecting this to be an intergender tag team match.
I really wanted that to happen too.
Like, I don't know. But intergender tag team matches are kind of weak, though, in the WWE because of the whole man-on-woman violence argument and the fact that USA Network has that stipulation where they can't have that.
But this isn't on USA. This is on the WWE Network.
I know, but still, like, WWE still does have those TV deals with USA Network, and they are very, very opposed to having the men wrestle the women and having the women wrestle the men. So, because of the whole violence against women argument, which I've said before and I'll say it again, in the wrestling world makes no sense. But it is what it is, and so Lana and Summer Rae are acting as girlfriends slash flings slash managers slash fucking... I don't even know anymore. This whole thing is fucked.
Yeah. The whole thing started with Ziggler getting involved in the whole Rusev-Lana thing. It's all just one big giant love square. And Ziggler's coming back for revenge because Rusev did a thing to his throat. I mean, I'm gonna say Ziggler for this because I guess it makes sense. Rusev winning, I guess, could start to push himself back up in terms of, going for the title or going for something else. But man, Rusev just kind of sucks right now. Ever since Cena beat him, I just don't care about Rusev anymore.
Yeah, he should be in the contendership for the World Heavyweight Championship, to be honest, but he's not.
And I don't think a win here would boost him up to that either.
Yeah, and on the other hand, Ziggler's making his grand return, but it's aside from that, before he had the kayfabe injury, Ziggler he had no momentum, and I think a win against Rusev might start to get him going towards something.
Except I don't care about Ziggler at all anymore. I don't at all. There's nothing that they can really do with Ziggler because of the whole concussion awareness. The guy is one injury away from retirement. So there's nothing they can do about that. They should have turned Rusev face and moved him up the card after his defeat against Cena. Because that's what you do with heels. Once heels get their comeuppance from the super over babyface, they themselves make the gradual turn to face and then have their moment in the spotlight. But that never happened.
I kind of thought at one point that they were going to do a double turn and try to make Ziggler the heel and Rusev the face, because going in the earlier stages of this rivalry, Ziggler was being kind of a douchebag. I thought they were going to do that, but in the most recent parts of this rivalry, Rusev's been like a cowardly heel and hiding behind Summer Rae and just.
The one thing about this match that bugs me is the effect that Rusev had. He had this invincible effect on him. Now that he got beat, it's just oh, well, shit. Ziggler could probably beat him.
Yeah.
And Rusev lacks the dominating effect that he had. He lacks that presence because ever since his I Quit match, he's booked now to look pretty fucking weak.
I pick Rusev either way. That's my pick.
Nikki?
I think I'm going to go with Ziggler. They want to do something with Ziggler. I know that they can't really do a title reign with him because he'll probably end up being forced to drop. Hell, at this point, he'd be perfect fit for the Intercontinental Championship. But, I think that they're going to do something with Ziggler, and I think a win against Rusev would be a kind of good start for that. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see how it goes, but I'll take Ziggler.
Next match is a 3-team elimination 9 Divas tag team match. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to go with. On one hand, we have Team Bella, which is the Bella Twins and Alicia Fox, versus Team BAD, which is Naomi, Sasha Banks, and Tamina, and the final team, PCP, or thank God they changed it from the Submission Sorority, because when I looked that stuff up on Google, did not get good things to look at, let me tell you that. Team PCB has Paige, Charlotte, and Becky Lynch.
Don't let your daughter look up Submission Sorority.
Yeah, I remember looking that up just out of curiosity, oh, hello, 5 pages of porno links.
I'll save this for later.
When it comes to this match, though, I honestly don't care. I'm in apathy mode again.
Are you not hyped for the hashtag Divas Revolution?
No. And Nikki, that's exactly why. Hashtag Divas Revolution. It's not a revolution if you constantly shove it in our faces that it is a revolution. You want to know what is a revolution? The Attitude Era. Because they didn't shove it in our faces. It just happened. You want to know what a revolution was? The revolution was the Arab Spring back in 2011 because it just happened. It wasn't shoved in our faces. Okay, that's a revolution at heart. And they're marketing it as a Divas Revolution when so far all it meant was that 3 divas, Charlotte, Becky Lynch, and Sasha Banks, moved up from NXT to the main roster. And now what's come of it? Absolutely nothing. There have been no changes to the title. There have been no changes to the story. The only thing that's changed is that we get 1 extra Divas match per Monday Night Raw, and each match goes on for a little longer. That's nice. It's a decent improvement, but there's so much more work that needs to be done that hasn't been done. Why should I care? because nothing fundamentally has changed. Nikki Bella is still the champion and will be champion until Night of Champions, when she will likely drop it to either Sasha Banks or Charlotte. And okay, that's just one piece of the puzzle. What's next? We need compelling stories, and we need them now, but there is no story going on right now. Literally, no story. Nothing is happening right now. Why should I care?
The story going on right now is basically just, hey, Nikki Bella has X amount of days until she breaks AJ Lee's record.
I get where Calcos is coming from, because this does not feel like a revolution to me. I think Mick Foley recently put up something where he's just like, I don't care. I want to care. Show me why this is a revolution. Show me why I should care so much. Let them talk. Let them be passionate about it. Let there be a reason for me to care about this revolution. And I think it kind of sucks, because had this team been Charlotte, Becky Lynch, and Sasha Banks, maybe it would be different. Maybe it's the NXT divas going up against the others. But what they're doing right now with the whole Paige going up against the Bellas thing, two things. One, this should have happened earlier. Now that it's starting to settle in, I'm not as hyped as I was when they were first announced. I'm like, holy shit, finally, they're here. Can we do something? No, a pay-per-view goes by. Oh, okay. Oh, now we're doing something. Okay, we're a bit late to the party here, but all right. But what they're trying to do right now that we have this big nine diva elimination match, this should have been at the last pay-per-view, I thought. And the fact that they're including Team BAD into this, I'm going to say this right now, they're not the ones winning. It's either going to be the Bella team or Paige's team. And out of these, I think probably the best one for them to go with is Team PCB. This is finally going to bring up some closure for the fucking Paige versus the Bellas storyline.
Are you 100% sure that Team BAD is not going to win? Sasha Banks has been damn near untouchable since she made the jump.
Honestly, I think what's going to end up happening is we're going to have like Nikki and Sasha and Charlotte as the last three. Then we're going to have some kind of match at Night of Champions, and then Charlotte will win it.
I don't care.
I want to care. I do want to care, because if you bring Charlotte to the top, then you're going to bring a lot more interesting things.
They need to change the title belt first. Okay, the thing is that you look at the Divas title, and it makes sense when someone like AJ Lee held it, or when someone like Nikki Bella held it, because that belt symbolizes what women like AJ Lee and Nikki Bella are. Specifically, very much so, Nikki Bella. Nikki Bella's character fits that gaudy pink butterfly belt so perfectly. But you put it on Charlotte, it doesn't look right, because Charlotte is not your typical diva material. She really isn't.
She can always throw it away and get the women's championship back.
Yay.
Please. Okay, if not the women's championship, then just something that looks legit. Because every single title in the WWE, aesthetics-wise, looks impressive. With the exception of the Divas title. The Divas title is the only one that doesn't look prestigious. Because it's not prestigious in any way, shape, or form. They need to ditch the title belt and do another one. You can still call it the Divas title. Just don't make it pink. Don't make it a butterfly. Make it look like a fucking belt, not an accessory. Alright? I'm picking Team PCB. Nikki, who are you picking?
I'm going bad.
Okay, let's move on.
All right, that was quick.
Wait,
I don't want to talk about this anymore. I really don't.
Like I said, PCB. The only other thing I can predict, there's only the only way I can see this is that either the Bellas surprisingly win. They're just like, haha, we won, loser, or BA or Sasha is the last person standing out of all, and just like, what up, bitches? Even though I probably lost my belt to Bayley, what up, bitches?
The reason why I'm trying to rush this along is because we have a lot of matches to cover.
I know. All right, so next match. We have the Primetime Players in a Fatal 4-Way Tag Team Championship match with them defending against Los Matadores. How the fuck are they still in this? The Lucha Dragons, okay, hopefully they get the title, and the New Day, which is obligated to be in here because they're the top heels in the tag team division right now.
They're not just the top heels in the tag team division, they're arguably one of the top 3 heels in the company.
They're easily the most interesting tag team in the tag team division.
I'm just going to get this out of the way. Los Matadores sure as hell aren't winning it. They're a filler tag team. That's all they're ever going to be. But you know what? Actually, that's funny, because I said that about the Usos a long time ago, and then they got the titles, so...
Yeah, and guess who was the driving force behind that? His name is John Cena!
Lucha Dragons stand a pretty good chance. They stand a pretty good chance here because it's not a one-on-one match between them, and they don't have to be like the heel in that part. And the New Day, well, the New Day doesn't need the titles. So
the problem with the Lucha Dragons, though, is the fact that they're kind of bland right now. Like, they're fucking great lucha wrestlers, especially since Sin Cara is now pretty much botch-free. But the problem is that where's their gimmick? Where's their personality? Where is the cool stuff that makes them really interesting besides the fact that they are lucha?
Yeah, Neville has a personality. He has the whole superhero thing behind him. That's a gimmick I like, but Lucha Dragons, you're right. They're there. Rey Mysterio had a great personality. Rey Mysterio had a great gimmick behind him. He was a great luchador. And I think if Lucha Dragons adapted something like that, maybe it could work. But as it stands, they're strictly wrestling.
They need to cut
it's not gonna
promos.
Work.
They need to cut promos, and not only do they need to cut promos, they need to cut promos somewhat in Spanish. They should have a Spanish catchphrase.
Vámonos or something. You know, whoever saw Los Luchadores back on like Fox Kids, I want something like that for them.
Yeah, I did. But yeah, I'm gonna have to. I'm honestly, because I do think that they're going with the chain theory, drop the title with every 2 months. Not a big fan of that theory, but my two picks are New Day and Lucha Dragons. I mean, New Day should be getting the title as often as possible, but my main pick is going to be Lucha Dragons. I believe that every team is going to have the tag team titles at some point, and once every team has it, they can stop hot potatoing the goddamn thing. So I believe that Lucha Dragons are going to get it, although I'm not going to be shocked if New Day get it.
I'm going to go with Primetime Players retaining. I think they'll probably keep it going until maybe Survivor Series or something. That's just me.
I'm going to take the Dragons. Like, it's a pattern that's been going pretty consistently now. It's time for the Primetime Players to drop the titles and drop them off to the Lucha Dragons, who will drop them off to somebody else down the road. And I have an idea who it might be, but we'll get to that in a little bit.
All right. Next match, another tag team match. Boy, we are stacking up the tag team matches for this. Okay. We have Bray Wyatt. Yeah, didn't you make the joke before about like how Teddy Long secretly is booking this whole pay-per-view?
Yeah, I did. You're going one-on-one with The Undertaker. Holla, holla, holla!
I kind of miss Teddy Long, I'm not going to lie.
Dude, everyone misses Teddy Long. He's one of the longest tenured general managers in WWE for a reason, because everybody likes him.
He's the Mac Militant.
All right, next, what's the next match?
Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper versus Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose.
Not gonna lie, I'm actually looking forward to this one.
There's things that will happen in this match. That is 100% sure.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this match for two reasons. One, Bray Wyatt and Dean Ambrose have proven themselves as good wrestlers and top-tier personalities, even though Bray Wyatt can get a little boring sometimes. When he has an objective, it works. Luke Harper is a cool powerhouse. His discus clothesline is fucking awesome. And Roman Reigns is slowly but surely proving his worth. They are doing exactly what they need to do with Roman Reigns, and I'm very much enjoying it. The second thing is something that the WWE has been telegraphing for the last couple of weeks. Can somebody name what it is?
Dean Ambrose is fucking turning heel.
Either Dean Ambrose or Roman Reigns. One of the two are joining the Wyatts, and 99% sure Dean Ambrose is turning heel.
That's really the only way they can make this feud interesting.
Well, think about what that does with... I'd prefer that Roman Reigns turns heel, because with Dean Ambrose's insane guy gimmick, like, think about what it was. His two best friends have betrayed him. Think about the trust issues that would be going through his mind, and think about the redemption angle that can come out of it. You can get the same thing with Roman Reigns, because he'd be in the same situation. His two best friends betrayed him. Now what the fuck is he gonna do? He's got nobody left. How is he gonna cope? But it would be that much more powerful with Dean Ambrose thanks to his gimmick. However, there are a lot of very interesting things that can come out of it, so long as they do it correctly, hashtag this is the WWE they're not going to, you can get some very interesting results from a heel turn from either Dean Ambrose or Roman Reigns.
That's all fine and well, and I'm guessing that it would probably make the story interesting, like I said, but what exactly does it benefit, and storyline-wise, how does that make any sense?
Okay, well, basically, Bray's beginning to form an army, like form the big cult that he kind of seems to have been lacking for a while. He's got Harper on his side. Now he'd have either Reigns or Ambrose on his side. At
but
some
why?
point, to take the bitch over.
Yeah, this is Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt's personality and Bray Wyatt's character is all about being a cult leader. This is why he was so over with the Wyatt family, because everything worked and it clicked. Like, the thing is that you have Luke Harper and Eric Rowan off to the side, with Bray Wyatt being head honcho of the Wyatt family, but nobody really cared about Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, and that's perfectly okay because they are cogs in the machine of the Wyatt family. Same deal here. Bray Wyatt is a cult leader, and a cult leader without a cult is just a crazy person.
No, what I meant was, why would Dean Ambrose betray Roman Reigns, and why would Roman Reigns betray Dean Ambrose? Because Wyatt, from the storyline, has been like constantly harassing and hounding Reigns, and they've been going like pretty solid back and forth.
Okay, the thing is, Bray Wyatt is a lot like The Undertaker. Bray Wyatt manipulates people, and he gets in their mind, and he gets under their skin. So when a betrayal and a heel turn happens and they join Bray Wyatt's side, it makes sense just from the mere fact that it's Bray Wyatt. And with Dean Ambrose, the heel turn from the perspective of joining Bray Wyatt makes more sense because Dean Ambrose is fucking insane.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see Dean Ambrose betraying Roman Reigns, but I can't see Roman Reigns betraying Dean Ambrose.
I can't see it either. I mean, it's an option. Like, you have to think about this. This is wrestling, and certain things make sense just because they don't.
I'm also taking into account, though, that the reports about Sting being involved in this feud somehow, and that he wasn't going to be involved in SummerSlam because you have Undertaker, you have Cena, you're pretty stacked. So I'm guessing somewhere down the line, Sting is going to get involved in this feud. If the reports are still correct, and I'm factoring Sting into this, then...
Whose side does he go on, though? Does
that messes with my original intention because I've read reports that Sting has really wanted to face Bray Wyatt. You know what? I'm gonna go with for right now. I'm gonna go with Reigns and Ambrose, and I think the heel turn won't happen here. Might happen on the way up to the next pay-per-view.
No, this is SummerSlam. It's happening here. It's happening now. I believe that Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper, the Wyatt family, are going to win, and Ambrose or Reigns are going to turn heel. The stage is set. It makes sense.
I'm with Calcos on this one. I think that something monumental is going to be happening with the Wyatt family. If it's not Reigns or Ambrose, it's going to be somebody will be a new third person for the Wyatt family. I have kind of an interesting idea about somebody for it, but again, we'll get to that later.
I'm going to still stick with Reigns and Ambrose, simply because I'm interested to see where they go down the line with this. Hey, at least I care about this match. There's two very completely different endings that go off in different directions on this match, so I am interested.
I'm very curious to see how they go. Next match.
Next match, oh boy. Okay, I'm very excited about this one. Stephen Amell and Neville versus Stardust and King Barrett. Okay, before we go anywhere, I am a huge Stephen Amell fan. I fucking love Arrow, and getting to meet this dude like a year ago was so fucking awesome. And then to hear that he's such a huge WWE fan, I figured at some point he'd be able to like get his way into like WWE, and then he did. And now he's going up like with this, joining this feud with Stardust. I am loving two things. I'm loving what Stardust is doing in this feud, and I'm loving the fact that Stephen Amell is getting so prepared for this. Like, he's not just doing, oh, it's just going to be like some celebrity match. Oh, I get in the ring at the last second. Bam, bam, I win. No, he is a trained stunts dude. He knows what he's doing, and getting to perform like with his own ring gear, getting up on the top rope, practicing stuff. He's serious about this. So I'm really excited about that. But there is a downside to that. The fact that they're building all this up in Stephen Amell and Neville's direction. It's kind of making it obvious that Amell and Neville are going to win here, because if Neville and Amell lose here, they're not going to do a rematch. There's no point to there being a rematch because, I hate to say this, the stars are aligned in the best way for Neville to win right here. And Neville can continue his feud with Stardust and Barrett, and there can be another person in the place. Cool.
This is one of those, hold on, this is one of those matches where it really doesn't matter that it's obvious. What matters is the fact that it's Stephen Amell, who apparently, according to his Twitter, is going to be wrestling in actual ring gear against Stardust and King Barrett alongside Neville in, like, the perfect fucking comic book feud. While comics and comic book movies are at an all-time high right now. That's what's important. Of course Amell and Neville are going to win. Who gives a fuck?
It's going to be interesting to see how well Amell does in the ring.
Okay, the fact that Stephen Amell is in the WWE is fucking great, and the fact that Neville's probably going to go over like a boss is also great. I want to talk about the other two people in this matchup. Stardust and Barrett, like, when I first saw this pairing, I thought it was just like a weird mishmash of two people that didn't fit together. All it took was one promo on Raw, and I am sold on Stardust and Barrett forever. Like, these two have mega chemistry. And, like, for the first time in what feels like forever, both Stardust and Barrett seem like they have something going forward. Like, if these two stay together and actually do stuff, first of all, Barrett has something added to his king character, whereas before he was just, you know, the king.
Now he's king of the cosmos and shit.
Yeah, he's fucking Katamari Damacying up in this bitch. But yeah, and Stardust is being basically his court jester. It's something interesting, and I'm digging it. And I think that at some point down the road, because like the tag team division is pretty much open, like wide open. If the Lucha Dragons win the tag team match here, don't be shocked if the person that they drop the titles to down the road would be Stardust and Barrett.
I really want to see that. I think that Stardust and Barrett benefit heavily from this because it's the start of them working as like a tag team. And I think that since both of them have been fumbling on their own singles-wise, putting them up together in a tag team seems to be the right thing. And the great thing about Stardust and Barrett is that they've been in so many different factions and tag teams that it makes sense for them to eventually end up working together. They know their way around the tag team division. They've won tag team gold. They have, right? I believe Barrett has won tag team gold, right?
I'm not sure about that. I know he's like a 4-time Intercontinental champion, and that's pretty much it. He may have won tag team gold. That wouldn't surprise me. But
either way, he still led one of the most important factions of the last decade in the WWE. So
most important and most buried.
Yeah, which really sucks. But I think now that Stardust and Barrett are doing something, they're going to make something interesting out of this. So yeah, I guess we're all in agreement. Amell and Neville.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're doing. It's kind of cool. They're doing the Cesaro Tyson Kidd thing. Like these two guys are too good to just have them languish in the lower card. So they're finally putting the two together so that they can do shit together.
Oh, by the way, this is one little fun fact that I'm going to note that they're probably going to do next year. Expect their WWE to try to promote the new TMNT movie when it comes out next year because Sheamus is going to be in it and Stephen Amell is going to be in it. And I honestly thought they would have tried to pull Stephen Amell around that time, but they're doing it surprisingly early, and I'm not complaining about that. So
also, keep in mind, Sheamus has money in the bank.
Yeah.
Interesting. Oh, by the way, the word from Bobby, Stardust has won tag team gold before, Barrett has not.
Okay.
Excellent.
All right.
Thanks,
Bobby.
Next match is a triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship, finally. Ryback defending against Big Show or Miz. Okay, first off, I don't give a shit about this. Ryback wins.
I don't give a shit about this either. Ryback wins.
I give very little shits about this. Big Show wins.
All right, let's move on. Nope.
No. Wait,
Snickers.
I'm curious. Why do you think Big Show? Big Show has nothing to gain by getting the championship. Miz sure as hell doesn't.
Yeah, but nobody gains anything by winning the Intercontinental Championship, so who gives a fuck? Next!
Okay, let me at least explain my reasoning. Like, ever since Big Show has dropped out of the Authority and basically dropped down to the mid-card, he's been booked way better, because back when he was with the Authority, his job was to lose to Roman Reigns 700 fucking times. Now that he's in the mid-card, he's imposing. He actually matters for once. So I could easily imagine Big Show taking the title, probably by pinning Miz, and holding on to the title for a couple of months and then dropping it to some young up-and-comer. Maybe he drops it to Cesaro. So just gives the rub to somebody by taking the title and holding it for a little bit.
Yeah, but what does that do for Ryback, though?
Who gives a fuck? Next!
Okay, fine. I want to see Ryback retain. Next match. Oh, great. Randy Orton versus Sheamus. What is this? 2011 again?
No, what is this? The last 3 months? This is Randy Orton versus Sheamus number 37.
I feel like we're being punished. Like, I feel like we did something wrong and the WWE is out for vengeance.
No, WWE wants to utilize Sheamus and Randy Orton. They just don't know what to do with them. I don't know why this isn't for a title. Like, why is this not for a title or for the Money in the Bank briefcase or something? Or, you know what? Maybe put in a stipulation, a ladder match, or maybe a steel cage match, or a no DQ match, or a last man standing match, or something. But no, this is just your average run-of-the-mill match between two decent workers. That's it. There is nothing special about this, and the fact that we've seen this, or a variation of it on Raw, is the fact that this match is now my pee break. Congratulations.
And what makes this even worse is they don't work well together. Like, holy shit, they don't work well together. They haven't worked well together all in their entire fucking careers.
They honestly haven't. The feud that these two had gone through is forgettable. I can't remember exactly what they did. Maybe it was feuding over the title. Maybe it was doing something else. But god damn, was it boring. It clearly was boring enough that I don't remember anything that happened in that feud. And Calcos is right. The fact that this is just some regular old match means I don't care. Maybe if you made it, say, a Falls Count Anywhere match for the briefcase or a ladder match for the briefcase. Hell, a ladder match for the briefcase instantly gets me interested in it because I'm thinking, oh, thank God, maybe Randy Orton will take it off. But no, it's just one-on-one, regular rules. You know what? Yeah, it's my pee break. But since I got to pick somebody, fuck it. Sheamus.
In a perfect world, like, as soon as the match starts, Bray Wyatt would show up and beat the fuck out of both of these guys and recruit them both. Make them both a member of the Wyatt family and basically give Money in the Bank to Bray Wyatt.
Oh,
we all want that to happen.
That's like Smark City right there.
We all want that to happen.
That would be amazing, and it's never going to happen.
Smart Mark City! Smart Mark City! Okay, I'm gonna have to go with Randy Orton on this one.
All right.
I'm taking Sheamus, I guess. But just as a little side note, did you see the reaction from Brock Lesnar when he got during his homecoming last night on Raw? That's the happiest I've ever seen Brock Lesnar. Like, he was giddy. That was freaking great.
Next match. Oh, we're speeding through these rather nicely. All right, next match is a match that I do care about. It is Kevin Owens versus Cesaro. Let's start off first with the fact that Cesaro is running as fast as he fucking can with the most momentum I think he's had in months. He is running with this, having gone up against Cena, having made himself into a legitimate contender, making himself a face, going in the right direction where he was supposed to go ages ago. And this is great. This is really great to see what Cesaro is doing. He is now clashing with Kevin Owens, who is also gaining as much momentum as he can, but kind of losing it since he's lost now twice to Cena. So this is a match for him to hopefully get his momentum back. Either way, this match benefits the two of them. And with who is going to win,
this is kind of tough because both of these guys need a big win because they've both kind of just been like they've both lost on multiple occasions to Cena, and they kind of both need some sort of rebound.
This is true. I think there's I don't think they need a win. I think they just both. I'm sorry. Let me start over. I don't think both of these guys need a win. I think they just need to do the same booking that they had with John Cena versus Kevin Owens at Money in the Bank. Face wins, heel stands on top. So Cesaro wins, Kevin Owens makes a statement, and then they go off in their separate directions. Kevin Owens, after this match, should go after a mid-card title, be it the United States title, or which, of course, he's already done, so unless the U.S. title is transferred over to someone else, then no. More than likely, he'd go after the Intercontinental title, which would be okay. And then Cesaro needs to be in a couple more high-profile feuds, and then needs to be thrust directly into the main event scene come this winter by winning the Royal Rumble. Cesaro as a face right now is prime main event WrestleMania material. This Cesaro you have right now can convincingly main event WrestleMania, no fucking question.
I agree.
If WrestleMania was next month, he could main event it. No, and nobody would question that, except for idiots. So I say
Vince
Cesaro.
McMahon?
Yeah. Well, Vince McMahon obviously is running more high on Cesaro. I mean, given the pressure from basically the entire fucking locker room, he kind of has to go with Cesaro at this point. and again, given the fact that Cesaro is very much riding high, he has support from all the fans. I honestly, Cesaro right now is Daniel Bryan 2.0. In terms of fan respect, in terms of locker room respect, in terms of back and forth battles with management,
in-ring ability,
absolutely. Yeah. So I think Cesaro will win this, and I think that they're going to get a lot of time in this match to really show off their stuff. Either way, this is going to be a classic. I can guarantee it.
Yeah, this is going to be one of those matches that this is going to be match of the night. Like, no question. Like, the only other match that I could honestly see topping it would be Cena Rollins. And even then, it's kind of, maybe, like, Owens versus Cesaro is going to be fucking awesome. And I basically agree with Calcos. I think that Cesaro wins, Owens pop-up power bombs him after the bell.
I'm going to go with that as well. I could see them pulling that off. I could also see Owens somehow winning. But I could see Cesaro winning in two different fashions. A surprise or with a roll-up or something.
The thing is, they can't exactly do a series of matches here in the traditional way, because the next pay-per-view is Night of Champions, and they need to save room for title matches for that pay-per-view. So
yeah, but there's only like 5 titles.
That is true, but still, I mean, they could absolutely do Kevin Owens versus Cesaro the second. They need to keep Cesaro in high-profile feuds. At the same time, they need to put him on a back burner, so that way he can main event WrestleMania. I know.
If I may, though, real quick. So if Owens... Okay, can Owens afford losing twice? Because I'm pretty sure that he's going to lose at TakeOver Brooklyn. Getting the NXT title is not going to benefit him at all. And if he loses at SummerSlam, this is like, maybe if all this piles up together, this is 4 straight losses.
He's a heel. Heels, when it comes to heels, win-loss records don't matter that much, because 99% of the time, when the heel wins, it's always unclean. The exception with Kevin Owens, absolutely, is his first match against Cena. He did win that clean, which was incredible. The problem is that WWE didn't run with it. That's the biggest issue, is the fact that they did not run with it because, again, they had an idea where Cena would put somebody over by losing clean, or by losing at all. But they got scared in the middle of it. So, once again, the heel is left in limbo. And we've seen this happen from time and time again. Right now, I'm not going to obsess over Kevin Owens, because knowing the heels in WWE and knowing the fact that once they go up against Cena, they flounder for quite a while and may never regain their momentum, it would just end in me being disappointed. So for my sake, I'm not going to invest any more faith in Kevin Owens until I see more momentum and more trust being put in him from WWE management. Right now, I'm all on Cesaro because that momentum is going to him instead. And not to mention, I'm a bigger fan of Cesaro than I am of Kevin Owens, and that's saying a lot.
I would not be surprised if by the end of the year, Kevin Owens is riding with the Authority. Like, it seems like the perfect place for him to be.
Yeah, I would say that.
I don't know. I think he works better as the whole lone wolf thing.
No, Kevin Owens is not a rebel without a cause. Kevin Owens is the kind of person that will do what it takes to achieve his goals, namely, provide for his family. Of course, I've mentioned this before. The whole providing for his family thing is just a ruse to be able to have an excuse to do whatever the fuck he wants.
And the Authority would give him that opportunity. They would basically let him just run roughshod, and not only would it be providing for his family, it would be best for business.
You know,
so there you go.
Like that, yeah. So I could see Owens definitely teaming up with the Authority at some point. All right, next match we have. All right, well, here's the supposed main event when we really know it's not. It is United States Champion John Cena versus WWE World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins in a winner-takes-all match.
You know, here's the thing. Like, going into this match, or hell, just as this match was starting to be hinted at, I was so not on board with this. I was just like, I might not watch SummerSlam at all if they have Cena versus Rollins. But given it some thought and thinking about what Cena has done for the WWE over the last 7 months, he might be the most qualified person to hold the title right now. Like, how many match of the year contenders has John Cena been a part of? Like 6? There was the triple threat at the Royal Rumble, the 3 matches against Owens, the 2 matches against Cesaro. Like, he did a fucking electrifying match against Zayn in Montreal. Like,
I will admit, even though I don't like the result of John Cena versus Kevin Owens at Battleground, I will say that Cena has done a lot for the company ever since WrestleMania ended. That much is absolutely true. And you make a good point. If Cena's going to do something like this, doing it now makes me the least salty. But you only have to look back in WWE's history to know that the better option is Seth Rollins. Why? 2 words. Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah, I see what you're going with. No, I can see explain. That. I can see.
No, Nikki doesn't understand. Back in 1990, WrestleMania 6, 2 wrestlers had a match to unify the WWE and Intercontinental Championships. Those participants were Hulk Hogan, current WWE champion, and Ultimate Warrior, current Intercontinental champion, who had just beaten Honky Tonk Man. Now, that match, everyone predicted Hogan to go over. Why? Because he's Hulk Hogan. Instead, Ultimate Warrior beat him. Clean. And it's a moment that is legendary in WWE history. Ultimate Warrior is one of the few, one of the proud, to have gone over Hogan clean. That is a classic moment. 25 years later, they can recreate that moment by having Rollins go over Cena clean in an upset. By having Seth Rollins be the very first person to unify the WWE World Heavyweight Championship with another title, and be the very first person to unify the main title with the United States title. A WCW title, might I add.
There's only one thing that I think is stopping the WWE from happening. This is going to be Cena's 16th World Championship.
There's something about that, though, Nikki. Something about that.
Mm-hmm.
Did you not see on Raw Cena's latest shirt that says 15 time?
Mm-hmm.
Why the fuck would they make it 16 time and then have to remake the shirt? Think of it from a... I can't believe we're using T-shirts to qualify how a match is...
Wait, hold on. This T-shirt is recent?
Dude, this debuted like last Monday.
Yo, Well,
if they just started making Cena like 15-time world champion, and then all of a sudden he wins, what the fuck? Does he come out on Monday with a 16-time blue shirt or something? No, you don't fucking do that.
You do if it's a ruse. You do if it's all just them working us, just like with Kevin Owens going into an NXT recording with the NXT Championship, which is set to air after NXT Takeover in Brooklyn.
Yeah, I saw that. That was weird.
Like that I am 100% convinced that is a ruse and that Kevin Owens is not getting his championship back. Instead, Finn Balor is going to retain. That whole thing was nothing more than a bum steer. That's all it was. It was a bum steer to get us thinking that Kevin Owens would win.
That's the thing, though. He's not going to.
Exactly. That's the point. WWE had Kevin Owens walk into that NXT recording with the NXT Championship in order to make us think that Owens is winning. So putting a t-shirt that says 15-time champion the week before SummerSlam, when Cena is expected to win his 16th, that is perfect. It is a perfect bum steer. The only thing they have to do is issue refunds.
Yeah.
They can issue refunds, and they can offer the shirt to people, a new shirt, 16-time champ, to other people. To the people that paid for it. They can make an offer and say, all right, if you want to keep your order, we can give you this 16-time champ shirt. It's a perfect fucking ruse.
The only thing that I was thinking of, though, since he is going to be tying Flair's record with this, is there any possibility that somebody could interfere on Flair's behalf?
Man on woman violence.
Not Charlotte. Like, I'm talking like, Ric Flair comes out and says that he's hired somebody to make sure that nobody ever ties his record because nobody deserves to have the 16-time champion's record. And that, like, basically is a rivalry for Cena to go through for the next couple of months.
I don't like it. They've already said that Ric Flair is retired. Like, they've made fucking sure that Ric Flair is retired. Notice that he hasn't had any involvement in any storylines ever since 2008.
Well, except for, like, backstage stuff on, like, WWE Network.
Yeah, little segments, but that's not involved. That's just little backstage segments that they just invite him on because they can.
He did get punched out by Triple H going into WrestleMania.
Okay.
Yeah, but the way that this match is going to go, either Cena's going to win and then he'll drop the U.S. title to somebody, or Seth Rollins is going to win and drop the U.S. title to somebody. We all can pretty much guarantee that the United States title is just going to get dropped to somebody else at this point. And Cena winning, okay, good for him. I guess from a storyline perspective, it makes some sense. And I'm using storyline logic nowadays because it's what I think the audience wants to see. It's more so of how, like, when I say the audience, I mean, it's just like, it's what makes sense from that perspective, from a storytelling perspective. But I do think that Seth Rollins does stand a very good chance of pulling an Ultimate Warrior moment. And there he is with both championships. He'd be like, holy shit, I got them. I defeated Cena at, like, the biggest event. Whoop-de-doo. But then
it would have to be unclean. I will say it'd have to be unclean. Which is fine. Again, Rollins is the heel. We're supposed to hate him.
This is a tough one. Like, this is tough to pick. Like, there's a lot of signs for Cena and there's a lot of signs for Rollins. I think Rollins wins in either a dirty finish or a disqualification finish.
I'm going to pick the safe bet. I'm going to pick Cena.
Oh, God. See, I'm really split on this, too. I guess I'm going to have to go with Rollins. I could be wrong, but I want to see
either
this
of
happen.
us could be wrong. Like, the thing is that this is not obvious at all. And it makes me a little nervous. Again, I love using that word way too much. Nervous. But honestly, I really don't care who wins it. They just have to be careful afterward. I would prefer Rollins win it. If Cena wins it, I'm just like, okay, whatever. I become very apathetic to Cena pulling it out because there's no point in getting obsessed anymore.
Rollins needs this achievement though, because let's add to this that Rollins was the first dude to cash in the main event of WrestleMania. That's a pretty big accomplishment for him. Getting this accomplishment of unifying the United States and WWE World Heavyweight Championships, which is, mind you, that's 3 titles right there altogether. That is pretty fucking cool. And I think that would give Rollins like a lot, like that would etch his name a little bit harder into stone with what he's done.
It would get a statue of him made in his honor.
I would laugh if Rollins wins, and then they're just like, "Welp, you won. Guess what we have?" Ta-da! And then Cena just comes over with like a fucking sledgehammer and destroys it. I want my rematch. God damn it!
No, he fucking AAs the statue.
He fucking AAs it off the stage, and it crumbles into pieces.
Dude, I'll take it. That would be fucking awesome.
There's only one man who could AA a fucking statue of Seth Rollins.
No, we're not doing it. No.
It is.
No. No.
Next match. All right.
Next and final.
The final match. This is supposed to be the main event and should be the main event of the pay-per-view. Brock Lesnar versus The Undertaker. Okay. This is a no-brainer. This is a legit no-brainer here. Undertaker wins. I don't give a shit.
I've got a discussion point. I've got a discussion point for you both.
Oh boy.
What has Undertaker started doing now?
Kicking Brock Lesnar in the jank.
Kicking Brock Lesnar in the fucking balls. What does this mean? What does this mean that Undertaker is doing? Because it is well predicted and well documented that this is probably going to be Undertaker's final run with the company before he retires, which is perfect, makes total sense, both in kayfabe and out of it. But with Undertaker kicking people in the balls, something that he normally doesn't do, what does this mean?
He's getting more and more desperate.
It means that The Undertaker's final run is going to be a heel run.
I'm
really
down for
that.
Absolutely.
Abso-fucking-lutely. The Undertaker right now, the entire fucking point of this run is to try and put other people over. Alright, if The Undertaker is close to retirement, why in the motherfuck would they have Undertaker win everything? All it means is that you got beat by a 50-year-old guy that's 10 years past his prime.
I would like to ask a question. If this means that he's going to be a heel, does that mean that we are not getting Undertaker versus Wyatt 2 at Mania 32?
We might. It might be. I mean, I
want Taker to come back as the American Badass, honestly.
I honestly don't care. All I know is that I'm very excited to see when The Undertaker retires, because that's going to be like just one of those defining moments in WWE, because The Undertaker, more so than any other person in the history of the company, is the staple. Like, he is he's the monument. He's the guy, and he always has been. For the last 25 years, so that the day that he retires is going to be one of the biggest turning points in WWE's history. So for him to work things as a heel, to try and... Shit. Like, that's the thing. It only makes sense that The Undertaker would keep doing those low blows if he's a heel. Like, he's not desperate. The Undertaker's not desperate. He hasn't shown any signs of desperation at all. Instead,
he didn't do it to Wyatt.
He didn't do it for Wyatt. He's doing it for Brock Lesnar, not because he's desperate, but because he's pissed the fuck off.
Consider the fact that even going back, way back to like the early 2000s when Lesnar was debuting, and Lesnar was doing a great job of going up against Undertaker, and Undertaker put him over. Cool. Let's add also to that fact that not only has Lesnar beaten the streak, Taker has never defeated Lesnar. Ever.
Never.
No matter what match he's been in, a biker chain match, chance for like a Hell in a Cell match, for the WWE Championship, no matter what match, he has always lost. So those 2 points combined together create the fact that Undertaker is winning at SummerSlam. Bar fucking none. No question, no objections, none of that shit. Lesnar is no, not Lesnar. Lesnar is going to get his ass kicked, and Taker is going to win.
I disagree. Lesnar. There is no redemption. There is no real redemption storyline here. Like, yeah, The Undertaker has never lost against Brock Lesnar. How many times have they mentioned that on commentary? How many times have they mentioned that in promos? How many times has Paul Heyman sang the graces of the fact that Brock Lesnar has never lost to The Undertaker? Exactly 0 times. That history, as far as kayfabe goes, doesn't matter anymore because they've never mentioned it, which means it doesn't take into effect. We remember it. We remember that The Undertaker has never won against Brock Lesnar, but 90% of fans aren't going to remember that because to 90% of fans, Brock Lesnar's current run is pretty much his only run. Like, they have vague memories of Brock Lesnar circa 2002 to 2004, but they're not going to know that statistic. The only thing they know is that Brock Lesnar is a 4-time WWE champion and that he was UFC heavyweight champion after beating Randy Couture. And that's all they know. So that history makes no sense here.
I think it should. History is very fucking important when it comes to this. Like, kids these days, like, when they watch wrestling, they should know the past. That's what we have the fucking network for. We should know the fact that there's a lot deeper history to this.
Yes, but that's all that hinges on the fans. Okay, if you expect the fans to look something up like that, all right, it doesn't work. You have to tell the fans explicitly everything, because if they have to explicitly search for stuff, then they're not gonna find it. They're not, because you're not telling them what it's all about.
Well, and you know what? I think that's bullshit. I honestly do. I think with the way that things are going now, with Undertaker specifically, I think this kind of circles back to WrestleMania. I think it makes sense with the way the Taker's going right now. I think that they should know more about what Undertaker used to do. They should know this feud. This feud, all the way back in like the early 2000s, makes perfect sense for right now. It adds a lot more layer to what is going on currently. And I know it's a hassle for people to fucking look up stuff. Again, that is what the network is for. But with this extra layer, it only makes things better for some people, for not just the people who want Taker as to get revenge for WrestleMania. It makes sense overall in their gigantic feud that's been going on.
How fucking pretentious can you get? They should know? No.
Yes, they should know. This is how wrestling is. I think the people today should know all about the history that happened, because then it adds context.
Yeah, but they're not going to. Like, that's the thing that when it comes to wrestling fans, what is in front of them is what matters, okay? Like, a lot of the fans didn't watch SmackDown back in 2003, okay?
Well, they should have, because back then, at least SmackDown fucking mattered.
Well, you know what? You don't fucking matter.
You know what? You know what's this wrong? The 1-year anniversary of this little cast? You know what? I could not have run into you, BronyCon, and you wouldn't have been on this. It would have just been me and Nikki. And you know what? Me and Nikki probably would have been a lot fucking better off without you.
Yeah, but then you'd have to do all the fucking editing, dumbass. Like, you have the fucking time for that.
That's a fucking hassle. Look, I could learn how to edit. I did the editing for most of these casts for a while. And
it was all in 480p. It wasn't even in high definition.
Excuse me. I don't know how to properly fucking video edit. Well, you know what? It's not like we get a lot of fucking people on this podcast. At least we fucking try.
Yeah, try. All right, try. Instead of trying, try doing.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry that I'm the better host than you are.
You better be fucking sorry. You're insulting all of the fans. You insult me? What the fuck is wrong with you?
I insult half of the fans now because some of them are fucking stupid and half of them are John Cena fans.
I know you want to suck Undertaker's dick. I get that. You want his man meat. But Brock Lesnar is winning this match. That is the only outcome that makes sense.
Well, you know what? I was the one that said Undertaker was going to win at WrestleMania. You were all like, oh no, Wyatt is going to win. Wyatt's got to do it. And then, well, guess what fucking happened? Undertaker wins, lol.
Yeah, and then, you know what? Last month, you said that was a mistake. All right, do you remember that? You said that you wished Bray Wyatt would have won instead. Even though you went all fanboy after WrestleMania, you admitted months later that you were wrong.
You know what? Anybody can admit they're wrong, okay? That's what we do, okay? I could be wrong, you could be wrong, you know. Why the fuck are you saying I'm wrong?
Because you're always wrong. You're stupid.
Okay, you know what? Fuck this, I'm done. I am done with this shit. You know what? I'm going to go back to fucking Mark, and I'm going to go there where there's a better fucking show than this. I'm done. Peace out, fuckers.
You know what? Fuck you too. I'm out. Good fucking night.
Well, I'm hosting a podcast by myself, it looks like. Nikki V is now accepting applications to become new members of the Haymakers. But in the meantime, for this match, I want to take Brock. I want to take Brock because Brock's going to win, but Undertaker is still going to kick the shit out of him afterwards. This is the kind of match that I don't think ends when the bell rings. There's going to be some shit that happens afterwards, and I think Lesnar wins, but Taker gets angry. So, yeah, I think we are just about done here. So, if you aren't already, please follow at least me on Twitter and support our Patreon, and I'll try and cut some kind of show together for next week's video.